Good morning. Happy Saturday. How are you? I love wishing everyone a happy Saturday. That is music to so many people's ears, right? Right. I want to talk to you today about a few realistic ways that lower income folks can save money. Can it be possible? Absolutely. Absolutely. Back in a minute. Good morning. Good morning. How would you like your coffee? Black or a little bit of cream, whatever. Kick back for a couple of minutes. This is not going to be a very long video, but I can tell you this, there will be a second upload this afternoon with some more money keeping tips. Yeah. Probably about, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock Eastern, sometime like that. Later today. So stay tuned and come back. Hope as always that these audio videos find everybody doing well. Let's begin to talk about a few realistic, that's the key word here, realistic ways to save even if you're on a low income. It is a huge mistake when people think that folks on a lower income cannot save. It's not true. It may take a little longer and be on a smaller scale, but it is still possible. So here's one of the things that I think we've come very far away from in our society today. We eat too much fancy schmancy food with fancy schmancy ingredients. Looking back, when I was growing up in the 1960s, our meals were very basic. Basically, meat and potatoes kind of family. You got your meat, you got your taters, and you got your vegetables. And we're all here to talk about it. Just saying, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying the meals were boring. Of course, my parents would incorporate some, let's say, Italian meals every once in a while, on a Sunday, for example. But in general, mainly, the meals were very basic but very healthy. And it's interesting because the 2 out of 3 ingredients that I mentioned for every single basic meal are on the inexpensive side, like potato or like some vegetables, for example, if you're careful and know which ones to get, which cost significantly less. Nowadays, a lot of, I don't know, perhaps unnecessary, fancy schmancy ingredients are used. That runs up the bill. If you could save money on groceries, especially today, anyone, even on a low income, can save. So keep meals basic, not boring, not delicious. Of course, delicious. Of course, not boring, but basic. Stick to the basics. Next, every single month we pay bills. No matter what kind of a life you live, you pay a bill of some sort. Could be a gas bill, even if a person's living, let's say, in some sort of a situation where it costs them a lot of gas, whatever they're doing in their living space. It costs money paying a bill. Utilities, rent, mortgage, bills. We pay bills every single month. For me to talk to on this a platform, it costs me a monthly bill. That's the way it works. It's an exchange of services. I get to use this platform, StreamYard, for example, but I have to pay a monthly bill. It's how it works. But the way we pay obligations like our bills every month, why don't we consider our own personal savings as if a bill? If we think of it that way, like it's a priority, and you know what? Oftentimes we never ever think of our own selves as a priority or a savings as a bill. So maybe you could name a number, aim for it every month as if you're paying a bill. And after all, you are because you're important. There you go. Just saying, just saying. Now, don't spend money literally that you don't have on things you don't really need just to impress others. I know it can't be said often enough, and I know you've heard this before. We all know. I mean, really? Do we really have to impress someone for 2 seconds? To be honest with you, people think we're impressing someone else for those 2 seconds. And at the end of the day, that person walks away and probably doesn't even remember the thing that you are so trying so hard to spend a lot of money that you don't have, impressing that person that you don't even really know for the 2 seconds that goes by. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but if you think about it, I think I'm right. So we shouldn't spend money on things for silly stuff that we don't have, that we don't really need at all whatsoever, just to impress. Spending to impress is just silly. There's just, honestly, for me personally, there is no value. There is no value in doing something like that. Honestly, really, it just isn't. Next. Now, this sounds really cheesy, but I find that this tip really works. Hang out with like minded, frugal folks. Why do I suggest this tip? Well, let's think about something for a minute. People that are like minded with frugality, I don't have to explain why I don't feel like getting dressed up. I don't have to explain why I choose to live minimalistically at times. I don't have to explain why I might get a designer bag at the thrift store. It's like so much less work when you hang out with like-minded, frugal people who get the it factor. It's just so easy. And then when you get together, and it's more about hanging out with your friends than sitting around impressing each other with the latest overtly expensive thing, whatever that thing may be, and hanging out with friends where you're just happy to hang out and have a cup of tea with some homemade cookies, or maybe store-bought cookies that you got at a discount, and sit around and brag about all the little financial wins and have fun with that. And not have to worry so much. A lot of people, and this is actually pretty sad in my opinion. In my opinion, I mean, people could disagree with me, whatever, but in my honest opine, it is a sad day when people have to sit around worrying, and it's kind of related to the previous tip earlier about impressing people. Spending money you do not have just to impress a person you don't really even know. When you're in the situation of hanging out with like-minded frugal people, guess what? That fear is over with. It is a done deal. It doesn't exist because our friends in frugal communities get the it factor. We get the it factor. It's more about being happy, that to live a more peaceful lifestyle, to choose to not have that stress of keeping up with the Joneses. And that could be really stressful. And it doesn't have to be stressful. See, this is the thing. It doesn't have to be stressful. To have fun, putting money away in savings, and still have a fun, rich, fulfilled life. A person can be rich in different ways. It's not about being rich only in the wealthy department monetarily, but a person can be rich in different ways. To not have that stress, to not have to impress for silly stuff, to hang out with like minded people who are frugal. To me, this is a great thing. To be charitable, even if you are on a lower income, and still manage to save, have all your bills paid off, and still manage, may not be a higher scale number, but still manage to save and put it away and live that secure life, as opposed to, bringing in such humongous income and can't even save, and just barely making it, because the high interest credit cards are really like tearing people up. And this is another and most important tip of all. People need to forget credit cards, assuming they are income for them. A credit card limit is not your income. Okay? It is not your income. A credit card is a tool of which you can borrow a short term loan, an amount of money. Okay? Credit cards belong to the bank, not to you. Let's say this again. Credit cards, money belong to a bank, not to you. It is a tool. It's just that simple. It is not your money. The sooner we get this through our brains, the better off many of us will be. Just saying, just saying. Don't forget to come back this afternoon for some more money keeping tips, because I'm on a roll this Saturday. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Take good care. Bye-bye.